The most people say that life is out there and you have to go out to act and to do and to profit and to make the most of it, to enjoy. But they really go out. They go out themselves. And the pleasure that they think they find there is already inside. It is the life inside of you that's the most happy state that you can ever realize and reach if you don't search it elsewhere, because life itself is enough. It doesn't need action. And the things that you find out there that gives you pleasure, they don't give you pleasure. The pleasure is already inside. It only points to the pleasure that's inside. So that's it's a cosmic joke. If you think you have to go out to find joy, that's the illusion, the Maya. You will go in vain. You think that it is the outer things that give you pleasance and joy, but it will disappear again when it stops to go out. And the real pleasure inside will never stop. You only have to realize it is there all the time. It is your own self. This is what you are, this pleasance, this is life, will never fade away. If there's a body or there is not a body, it doesn't matter. It's the body grow around the pleasure that you are. If you find that, you can go out or stay inside. It is not important because you have really discovered your reality. The real being of you is life, is joy, is pleasure, it's bliss, is ananda. And it is now here. It will be everlasting here. Before your birth, after your birth, and during your birth. Don't find yourself out, because you will lose yourself and you will be so happy to realize that it is this is happiness. Wherever you go, there or say or meditate or be doing, it is the pleasure doing it, not you. It is happiness. Thank you. Be happy. In the beginning of your life, you don't think too much. You just act, and it's normal that you don't know better than that you are acting. And then all the things happen which you cannot control, and you start to realize, to feel that there is a power watching over you, and this God can help you if you are not nice and ask, pray, and then you bend your head, you bow for God. And then there comes a time that He says, you don't need to bend for me anymore, because when you bow your head for me, I am inside bowing with you. This is a big realization, because you know all that you do is He. He is acting through you. You start to realize it was always the God presence, the God energy that made you move, that has guarded you and guided you through life from your own little self doing to this great surrendering to God, and then the wisdom. If you surrender, it is God Himself surrendering inside you, with you. So there is nothing more to do. You reached God's being. It's time to be happy. Really, believe it. It's God all the time inside doing all it. He's sending you out to be able to get you back home. That was His doing. Feel it. So happy. So happy, this realization. God is all there is. He sent you out to make you see that you turn back. And that was His doing. He went out and He came back, although He never left. You are home. Hallelujah. Be happy, enjoy life. Life is being present. Presence of God, of the best energy ever. Going out, coming home, it's always this high energy inside. And when you leave your body, doesn't matter, it will stay. This high energy is what you are. The body was the tool to go out and to be sent out and to turn back and to transform. This was God's doing. It's hard to believe, but it is true, and slowly it will stabilize this feeling of gratitude for the journey. Thank you for the journey. You bow your head for this great divine presence in you, and He bows with you. This is the big, great love He gives you to come home. And the more you realize that this is all God, there is nothing but God, then you walk in the park and in the garden or whatever you do, and you realize this is God's movement, God's actions. And if you see people in the street passing by and with a face like, oh, I'm in a hurry, or they are in mind, sorry, that too is God on His way. Once, not so long ago maybe, or maybe longer, but once there was a time that you too were going out and doing the things and for yourself, for your pleasure, or forget something, or you were doing things and you thought that you were the one acting. And you know, now you know it was always God sending you there in order to experience and to get the wisdom. What's the matter and who am I? So the people around you, they are the same. They are sent out by God to their experiences, but they don't know it like you used not to know. So don't ever judge because you judge the God in them or the God inside of yourself, and they cannot help it. They will learn by the mistakes and start to return and surrender like you did. And that's why Jesus could say, wow, when He was crucified, He said, pardon them, Father. They don't know what they are doing. Jesus understood. He was so great soul. He took so much for surrender and for example. And this is in all of us happening. We all need to bow one day, and then we will learn that we don't need to bow. That all is the only one God. This is God being in all forms. In your neighbors too, and in your children that are but in your parents, in all people, and even in animals that are growing from their selfish behavior to survive. That's what's the goal of life, to survive, and that's coming into the human beings. And that only there in human beings it can be transformed. It can be understood, surrendered, and transformed. And when it happens, you can overlook all the travel that you made, the journey from being dust to stone to plant to animal to selfish human being to God Himself. That's the journey that God makes in every living being. Understand it, realize it, and be happy. Be happy whatever is. It is always God Himself, the God presence. When you think you are a separated person and you start to understand that's much more, and that God exists, because when you open up, the teacher will come in your life, and the teacher that is God, the all-knowing, and you are still this person, and knowing God is there, so you want to be good, and you start to act different than before. That's good. You open up. The love of God is coming through. And then there's also the fact that you are afraid of making mistakes. But the more, just wait what happens. God is taken over. And when He is more present in you, He will make you understand that there is no ego at all. There exists no separated being. It is God all over, all present. In every being is God, growing to His own full potency. And there is no ego. You cannot make mistakes because God acts as if He is this separated being, growing to Himself, to His full light. So there was never an ego making mistakes. It was His doing. It's His doing if it takes long or it goes fast or it doesn't happen at all in this life. Not yet. It is all preparing. He is preparing in all forms to be Himself. God is becoming Himself. Becoming. Being. The being is becoming. It comes. But it is already there, and you will understand it when you just wait. It's just growth, expanding. God expanding Himself in all beings. It's so beautiful to... This is God. Can you... yeah, can you understand it? Can you realize, can you believe it? There was never a you. This is pure God being, but now in his full potency, in his true real state. And when he was searching for himself, when he played, he acted, then it was God also, but he played that he didn't know it and he found himself. So it will be, it happens, it is happening now. Oh my goodness, my godness. Mwah.